We have to start with Eze. He played like his rent was due. The intensity he showed against Spurs was frightening. It genuinely makes you wonder, is he just built for these derbies, or are we finally seeing the real Eze we bought from Palace?
Listen, mate, Eze's performance against Spurs has just rubber stamped exactly what I've been saying for weeks. You heard the gaffer, Arteta, in the post-match presser. He said Eze was proper fuming he didn't start against Wolves after that blinding shift against Wigan. He wanted to keep that momentum rolling. And that word there, upset, that is the absolute key to smashing through a mental block. It lights a fire in the belly. Eze played with pure anger against Spurs. He was banging it from minute one, scored twice, and looked completely assured. Look, it's a massive mental hurdle. When you're used to being the main man at your old club, and suddenly you step into a dressing room full of stars, a completely different system, some players' adaptation to the environment might take a few months, depending on how they react to it mentally. Like I said, you can't fix a mental block by making a lad run laps around London Colney. You've got to find that spark. I saw him battling Palhinha and Bissouma, and frankly, he made them look obsolete. He wanted to end Spurs, plain and simple. If he keeps that fire burning, the whole squad reaps the rewards. Because the reason why our attacks has been underwhelming this season, and the reason we ain't carving teams open through the middle, that boils down to a sheer lack of output from our main creators. Specifically Eze and Odegaard. They are the orchestrators. They dictate the sheer volume of chances supplied in the final third.
Speaking of Arteta's presser, where he mentioned he's finally worked out how to use Eze properly to maximise his potential, what do you reckon he actually means by that? Are we talking a system tweak or a flat-out positional change? Did you clock anything different in that Spurs game? Because whatever he did, it might just be the magic that spurred Eze into form.
To be honest, I noticed a few tactical tweaks in that front line. Firstly, he was deployed as a pure number 10 in the hole. He was in the zone 14 for the most of the game. By staying central, he forced Bissouma and Palhinha to narrow up, which then created those massive gaps out wide for Saka. Secondly, I noticed how our attackers were playing in proximity. This creates an extra body illusion that allows Arsenal to overload the zone 14. If you notice the third goal, you'll see Gyokeres, Saka, Eze in proximity. They used the overload to intercept Tottenham's clearance, and Gyokeres pinned one of their centre-back and quickly laid off the touch he received from the interception into the path of an advancing Eze, teed up Saka. And because he kept himself in such close proximity to the play, Eze was right there to quickly gobble up the rebound. Positionally, we played with double pivot with Zubi and Declan. We have no left or right interiors. Our 10 stays in the zone 14, which meant Eze stayed higher up the pitch. So the second we won the ball back, he was already in a position to kill them off. Eze had the freedom to roam in that pocket space without tracking back. So to me, it wasn't a formation change, it was a role definition. But listen, you know what Mikel is like. He's unpredictable. Maybe he really has found a new way of getting the best of him behind the scenes.
But let's talk about the man of the match, Viktor Goykeres. Best game so far in an Arsenal shirt for me. I can't praise the bloke enough.
Look, with Viktor, it boils down to the tactical metric we're always banging on about, creation volume. He is an out-and-out striker. You've got to move the ball quickly to unlock his potential. Feed him through the middle, that's the premium route to satisfy his appetite. Swift ball movement bypasses the midfield and hits the final third before the low block settles. If we hold on to it too long, he gets isolated. More dynamic action in the final third means higher creation volume. Simple maths. With the amount of chances we created through the middle, even Saka put 2 clear-cut sitters wide. It was only right that Gyokeres walked away with a brace.
That's a brilliant tactical breakdown, to be fair. The whole team looked different though. They sustained that high tempo for the full 90. What actually sparked that intensity? Was it purely the magnitude of a North London derby? Or have they suddenly clicked into a new rhythm? Because this is exactly the type of rhythm that can spur you onto a crazy winning streak.
First off, yeah, it's the derby. You have to turn up. I know the pundits will say Tottenham had injuries and it was a walkover, but this is the exact same Spurs side that nicked a 2-2 draw against a full-strength Manchester City. Games of this magnitude force introspection. Let's say you've been grinding out ugly wins and papering over the crap. A high stakes match is your reality check. If you get obliterated, you realize you ain't at the level you thought. But when you're struggling like we have been recently, a massive fixture like this sparks belief. Smashing Spurs the way we did, that jolts you back to life. Build on that and you're suddenly on a winning streak. And it proves my point. We can't lay all the blame on Arteta for the woeful performances over the last few weeks. The pressure of City breathing down our necks for the title has been the root cause. It's all mental right now.
When you say the mental side of the game, are you saying they lack the mental fortitude for the title running?
I'm not saying they ain't good enough. If they weren't top tier, we wouldn't be sitting at the summit of the Premier League right now. What I'm saying is that the ruthless intensity they unleashed against Spurs is the exact gear you find when your back is against the wall and you've got no choice but to come out swinging. It flips a switch into killer mode, and that is the exact instinct we need.
Yeah.
For the business end of the season, we've got 10 games left now. Every single team stepping onto that pitch is enemy number one. And I'm standing between you and greatness. It ain't about one game at a time anymore. We ain't got the luxury of time.
Yeah.
We've used the privilege by allowing Man City to cut the lead to 5 points with a game in hand. Right now, it's all remaining games at a time.
Hold on, that's a bit heavy, mate. Break that down for the listeners. What do you mean by taking all games at a time?
Right, let me put it in layman's terms. We've still got massive fixtures, City, Chelsea. Now, let's say we're playing Everton tomorrow. If we take it one game at a time, we are facing them thinking, it's only Everton, we can nick this even in second gear. If you roll all your remaining opponents into one massive body and you set your toughest rival as the baseline standard for every single match, that means you are taking all the games at a time. You play Everton like you're playing Man City. You look at the Everton badge and you see City. With that mindset, there's no complacency. Your instinct is do or die. You treat every side like it's your final. That's exactly why you see City go on these freakish 13-game winning streaks from March to May. They treat everyone like their toughest opponent.
Mate, that explanation is a genuine jaw dropper. It's a massive eye opener because if I'm being completely honest, I've never actually thought about it like that. So that's the player's mentality sorted. What about Arteta's role in this?
Look, the gaffer is human and he ain't fully exonerated from our recent blips. His recent admission about the usage of EZE and sometimes his in-game management and team selection. Let's take what happened at Molineux against Wolves as reference. Hooking Gyokeres for Gabriel Jesus was a shocker. He needs to realise this ain't the Jesus he signed from City 4 years ago. 2 ACL injuries, by the time you're 28, absolutely wrecks your body. The physical edge is gone, he can't press with the same venom, the legs are stiff. Bringing him on when a game is still hanging in the balance is basically dropping us down to 10 men. We've paid the price for it this season. And then there's the fear factor. I literally saw Igor Tudor on the touchline screaming at his Spurs defence to step up and go at us. But they were terrified because outside of Haaland, Gyokeres is the most feared striker in this division. That psychological grip he has on a backline is enough reason to keep him on the pitch for the full 90 unless we're 4-0 up and cruising. Plus, Gyokeres is the type of poacher to ghost in and nick a 94th minute winner even when he's having an off day. You don't hook him.
You've absolutely dissected that. Brilliant detail. So before we look ahead, who are your standout performers from the derby?
I could sit here and wax lyrical about the whole starting 11 from Raya's save to Mosquera, who came on and did well. But I'll keep it tight. First name, Piero Hincapié. His shifts have gone completely under the radar because he ain't the flashiest name for the casuals, but he has been an absolute titan lately.
Yeah.
He's locked down that left side diligently and his progressive distribution is elite. Look at that vintage ball he threaded through to Saka for the 1v1 against Vicario. He might not have that telepathic overlap with Trossard that Calafiori does, but defensively, an absolute beast. Next, EZE. Like I said, Wigan and Spurs showed us a baller growing in confidence and stride. If Gyokeres hadn't dropped a masterclass, EZE was nailed on for man of the match. And finally, the main man himself, Gyokeres, he's hit double figures now, 10 in the league, 15 across all comp. Like I've been preaching, keep feeding him and the goals will flow. Bump up that creation volume, activate our front line and they'll drag us through the line.
All right, let's pivot. Next up is another massive hurdle in the title race, Chelsea. How do we approach this tactically and mentally?
Tell you what, mate, we'll be having that in-depth pre-game tactical breakdown over in our exclusive membership group. So if you haven't joined up yet, click the link down in the comments and let's go plan how to defeat Chelsea together.